these
How do we break the
markets?
cycle? How do we start from kindergarten now,
Yeah.
or primary school?
Prevention
We
is it.
how do we break the cycle? We know it's like I said, we know like gambling and like alcohol and like all of these things is not going to stop. But how do we save some?
Yeah, what has bothered me immensely over the years is the lackluster and pure political gamesmanship that drives all all programs for prevention. Look at the inadequate intervention structure. Up to today in Trinidad and Tobago, after we went through that crack epidemic, the intervention structure is totally inadequate
Tell me
because
something. Look at this. Like for instance, when Maris Lawrence Maharaj was in office, Madeleine Albright came down here, which we felt was the most potent signal to the world that Trinidad and Tobago not playing, was like turning that drug empire into a rehab facility. You know, they shut it down last year.
yeah,
For what?
yeah.
Why? Who instructed that? Who? The only state-run rehab facility. Now, the state now, the present government now, saddled with the fact that the state don't have a state-run rehabilitation
No.
center, and they may now have to try and reinvigorate one or open one again so that the state can do its part to help the vulnerable. Why? How? You explain to me.
But
How-
also
how?
that the fact that, as Daria says, that there hasn't been a robust effort really to address the prevention side. How long have we been talking about drug education in schools?
Yeah. Since
Where is it?
Mrs. Manning, and we were dismissed. When Mrs. Manning
Where
was
is
minister,
it?
look how long ago that
Yeah.
was. But explain to me now, like I said, the most potent signal we could have sent to the world that we not playing. We took our drug lords' property and turned it into a rehab facility.
Yes.
That was poetic.
Yes.
Now tell me, who? And let me say this, and let me put it on record. This God Sinclair saying this: whoever gave instructions, or whoever decided to shut down that rehab facility, may God be with you. Whoever. And let's hope your children do end up using crack. Well, I know if they do, you all have the wherewithal to send them to even Betty Ford if you want to. But you see the tears of the vulnerable who can't find a place to send their child now, whoever decides to do that, may God be with you.
What I have found over the years, brother and sister, is a society driven by denial.
Yes.
Denial is reality here.
Mhm.
Denial.
Yes.
So I want to know where they live. Because what happens is that from the time they hit us with the mandrax, and then they come with now the blow and the sprang, you recognize that the intervention structure is non-existent. The education, non-existent. We still have this delusion in this country that if you teach children about sex education, they're going to have sex.
Yes. Yes.
And if you teach them about
drugs?
they're going to take drugs.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
nobody is dealing with the fact that you have untold numbers encouraging them to come and try, take a taste. And the children totally ignorant of the reality, totally ignorant. Because if you go to teach them, they won't do it. And because what we have now is a social order in which you have nothing based upon research-driven data. Everything is old talk, nothing on research-driven data. And nobody wants to understand the research-driven data proves that prevention programs must work with interventions. And they do work.
Thank Yeah, when we introduced drug treatment court to this country, as admitted by the manager of the National Drug Council, then they weren't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
And we were saying, we did the research. We went to the UK, the US, and Canada, and it was working for them. So then let's try it here. And we had to twist some arms for it to happen. And we were still, and then there is
But
the
it's-
territorial thing, you know. Well, Garth and Natasha not ordained by certain people, so then keep them out. And so much so that for one drug treatment organization, our names were taken off the list. Imagine that. We brought the things to Trinidad and Tobago. We introduced drug treatment courses to Trinidad and Tobago. But then there are those who felt that we were competing. We are not competing with anybody.